Hello and welcome back to another episode of Engaging Conversations. I'm your host, Leon Goldsman, and today's a very special one. You know why? Because it's episode 27, and 27 happens to be my lucky number. But also, you never know, because after today, it might just very well become your lucky number too. What better way to celebrate than talking about saving money, boosting efficiency, and bringing year-round comfort to your home? This episode is proudly supported by Nias Kenneth and the team at Invest Intelligence, committed to ethical practices and empowering local and regional communities to grow stronger and more sustainable. Joining me today is Samuel Culhaci, a trusted expert in air conditioning and solar energy. With years of hands-on experience at D&R air conditioning and electrical, Sam brings not only deep technical knowledge, but also a genuine passion for helping families and businesses make smarter energy choices. D&R has proudly built a reputation over more than 16 years serving families and businesses across Lake Macquarie, the Central Coast, the Greater Newcastle region and surrounding communities, delivering real service, genuine accountability, and lasting peace of mind. Just a quick note before we dive in. The insights shared today are based on Sam's professional experience. Always seek independent advice before making decisions, as neither Equilibrium headquarters, myself, nor our sponsors take responsibility for individual outcomes. With that out of the way, you're going to want to hear what's next, because Sam reveals why solar isn't just for hot sunny days, how you could be saving money even in winter, and the costly mistakes people make when they rush into the wrong systems without the right advice. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Samuel Culhaci. I'm a industry professional. Primarily started with air conditioning, but moved over to solar, especially locally. So helping our locals not only understand how solar can benefit them or help them in terms of their energy savings. We make sure they've got the right information so they can make the correct decision that's going to work best for them. So I work with a local company here, D&R Air Conditioning Electrical, and we've been in the industry for 16 years now, helping our locals. So that's basically a short version of what I do here in Morisset. So it's located on Lake Macquarie, halfway between Gosford and Newcastle. Most people would know that, or the Central Coast and Newcastle. It's really a growing community here with lots of existing locals, but we're seeing a lot of families moving into the area, especially those coming out of Sydney, realising the benefits of living in a place like Morisset, where we have all this local community and natural lake and all the events that go along up in Newcastle as well, and close to the Hunter Valley, which is another great location, only half an hour away, and we're close to all the beaches at the Central Coast as well. So it's a really upcoming, great place to live with your families.
It's fair to say that if anyone understands air conditioners and solar, that's definitely got to be you.
Well, yeah, certainly there's a lot of industry professionals out there, but I've primarily focused on solar the last 4 to 5 years. Started off with wanting solar for my own property, and it got so confusing with all the information and marketing out there, and the more training I did on it and development, and we realised that the community needed the right information, not just commercial marketers and TV ads that most people buy from. So it's certainly been a growing advantage to me personally, understanding that. And coming from a electrical background, electronics, I grew up as a young boy with Dick Smith, getting their little kits. And I remember a time when we had a little FM bug you could buy. That's got me started in the industry, and understanding how electronics works and the fun of it and the creativity of it. And I've applied all that learning to really understanding solar and how that can reduce our energy costs and it's giving a greener future for all of us.
And it's interesting to see how many people actually sell solar. But when you sit them down or when you ask questions, what they say and what they actually know aren't always in sync.
No, definitely not. There's a lot of marketing jargons out there, and you'll see a lot of salespeople just mention all these marketing terms or figures that the customer has no idea, and it can kind of confuse them and don't really understand but solar is pretty simple.
Well, many people see solar power as just an upfront cost. But in reality, we know that it's a long-term investment that can provide financial savings over time.
Yeah, look, many people do see solar as an upfront cost, but really, as you mentioned, it is a long-term investment, and it can make great investment returns, and between 20 to 30% from our homeowners that we see it, and it significantly reduces and eliminates their power bill in some cases. But also for business as well, it can totally offset their daytime energy costs. Payback periods depend on several factors such as the system size, the energy usage, the government incentives, and typically residential systems pay for themselves within 3 to 7 years, whereas commercial setups, because they consume more energy during the day, can pay back between 2 to 5 years. And here at DNR Air Conditioning Electrical, we help homeowners and businesses maximise their returns by designing the system that's really tailored to their specific need. The system has to be able to cope with the demands and when the energy is used. Plus, with the government rebates and financial options that we have today, ongoing solar has never been more accessible. And we also help homeowners find the best energy provider because plans vary so much, as you know. So getting back, their feed-in tariffs at the best price and also what the energy costs are. So yeah, we help with all of that.
So that kind of takes me to my next question. Aside from financial savings, many homeowners and businesses are drawn to solar because of its environmental benefits. How does integrating solar panels into properties contribute to sustainability?
Well, there's a big saving for sustainability. It reduces the property's carbon footprint, for instance, so not burning that coal to get that energy. We get that free energy from the sun. And in Australia, like a typical 6.6 kilowatt residential solar system can offset between 7 to 8 tonnes of CO2 per year. So that's like planting 300 trees, for instance, annually. And for businesses, the impact is even greater, cutting thousands of tonnes of emissions over the system's lifespan. And plus, solar reduces the strain on the power electricity grid, making energy production cleaner and more sustainable over that period.
So you did mention households and businesses can vary. What are the primary differences in designing solar energy systems for homes compared to commercial establishments?
Well, the key difference here is the energy usage patterns. So homes typically use more energy in the mornings and evenings, as the family's getting up and getting ready for school or work. And then when they return in the evenings, that usage kind of peaks at that time. Whereas businesses, their peak is during the daytime. So that's why solar for businesses is such a great idea. But for homes, we aim for a system that really maximises self-consumption. So what that means is if the solar system's producing, 5 kilowatts during that time, that they use that. So whatever they use, that's directly from their system, free. They're not relying on the grid to come over, and ensuring that the solar power is used more efficiently as possible. And batteries can also help store excess energy for their nighttime use. So where it's appropriate, we will design a system for the household if their most usage is in the evening time, so not to just send that free power to the grid, but they can store it in their battery and use it at night time. And for businesses, the goal is to offset their peak daytime consumption, and that reduces the demand on their charges as well. And this means larger systems for businesses, but sometimes commercial scales of batteries are appropriate as well. So we look at that, and so here at DNR Air Conditioning Electrical, we design custom solutions to ensure both the homes and businesses get the best possible saving and efficiency from their solar system.
So that's why it's really important to have somebody designing it who actually knows what they're talking about, rather than just getting on the internet, for example, or on social media that bombards you with ads.
Yeah, exactly right, because, there's not one size fits all. It's every household uses theirs different, every family's different. So really understanding that first and then giving them the product that's going to work for them. That's so important. And rather than just buying whatever is on offer at the cheapest rate.
And of course, when you deal with a local business, you're helping local businesses and your immediate community as well.
Exactly, and the benefit of that is, and what we're finding in the industry, a lot of people will go for those offers, but they don't have this ongoing support. Because we're here locally, where, if there is an issue, we normally know beforehand because we monitor those systems, but also our team is here ready to help and as soon as possible. So we're not travelling, down to Sydney or somewhere else. We're just travelling to our locals and supporting that and keeping that close-knit community that we have here at Morrison and Lake Macquarie is so important, because you have that community feeling and you know that you're being looked after and cared for.
And as you said, proximity is important. So on the way home, you can possibly even pop into a job that you've recently done or help someone along the way, which I suppose when you're buying online, you don't know where it's coming from and whether there are real people who actually can do something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And we see that all the time. And because we're not just doing solar, we look after air conditioning and electrical. So we often have the same customer. If they have an issue, we help them with that. So we've got a wide variety of things that we can help our customers with. And yeah, they feel like they're part of the DNR family.
And it's great. It's great to have local businesses like DNR in the community doing so, because it's not just an overnight. DNR has been around for...
It's 16 years, so in April we were at our 16th year in operations. So and the same families that started it are still here working in the company, and of course we're a wide variety of electricians and technicians that continue to support the team and work together in helping the community.
And that's another reason why it's worthwhile going with a reputable company like DNR. You know that when you're dealing with a local company, they're not just going to serve you, take your money and run. They're going to be around for a very long time.
Yeah, exactly. And, you can have all the warranties promised to you, but if that company is no longer around, well, there's no one to look after that. So, we give between 5 to 10 years, depending on the products we sell, and in our installation warranties. And also we help with the manufacturing warranties. If something goes wrong with the actual product, we help the customer process all of that to be able to have a repair or replacement done on those systems.
And you certainly hold a big market share here in Lake Macquarie. So when your customers deal with you, they know that it's a company that's going to be very well respected in the industry.
Yeah, that's correct, and that's again a very important thing for community to know that we're not just here for the short term. We're here to support them. We're not just selling them a one-off product. We're giving them a system that's going to be ongoing, and we're responsible for that as well. So they can buy with confidence, knowing that we're going to be looking after their long-term needs.
We know that air conditioning and solar, people think, oh, look, I'm not going to get an air conditioner because summer's over. Or they might turn around and say, well, hang on a sec, do we really need solar? Because, we're about to approach winter months. What would you say to that?
So yeah, look, with air conditioning, for instance, because they're reverse cycle, we find our customers are using it year round. It's always in use, and during those times when it's not being used, that's a great time to have a service done on them, which we find we're doing a lot of that. Living in Australia, in New South Wales, we have sun almost every day, and what people don't realise is that solar panels don't need direct sunlight only, because it's what they call a photovoltaic system. So it relies on the photons in the light. So we could have a cloudy day like today, but your solar system's still producing power. And you can see that. So with our systems, you will have an app that you can actually see what it's producing. And it's great. We find a lot of customers excited when they see it and they're saying, well, it's not sunny, but I'm still producing quite a good amount of power. So, it's all year round. It's something that can be used and benefit our local customers 365 days a year.
Yeah, well, see that's the sort of information that a lot of people were not aware of. You touched on people obviously moving up to Lake Macquarie from the city. So my question to you, Sam, is how do urban and regional settings impact solar energy performance and design?
Well, there's a big difference, because like in cities like Sydney, the rooftops are smaller and they get more shaded because of the condensed buildings, the nearby buildings. That really impacts the solar output. But in urban areas, especially in the new development places we're getting in here in Morisset, Corumbong area, even in our region, we're seeing that the lot more space on the roof, more affordable as well. And these roof spaces have fewer shade issues. So you see from the morning to the evening, you get that full sunlight, which means a higher output for the solar. And many also regional areas have grid limitations that restrict how much solar energy can be exported. But these regions, that's where battery comes in to play. And we're seeing that it's becoming more and more popular. And it sounds complicated, but really solar and battery is not that complicated. And we will really help you navigate through all of those difficulties that you perceive, and show you that it's quite simple and how it all works, and the benefits that you get from the day of the install. Your savings start straight away.
It is good to have somebody who at least knows what they're talking about. Less stress on the person who's making the decision.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to be informed correctly. We make decisions every day, don't we? But you make decisions on the knowledge that you have. So, unfortunately, these days there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and you get a lot of information from people you don't know who they are. So, getting that right information, then you can decide, well, what is the best thing for me? And that's what we do at DNR. We will help you make those decisions. We give you those options, and then you decide as a customer. We don't force to pressure somebody to buy something. We will make sure they have the right information for their needs, and then they can decide which way they want to go.
And that's all part of making a sensible choice.
That's right, yeah, sensible choice, exactly the way you put it. And we have to make sensible choices, but to do that, you've got to have the right information.
And speaking of the right information, installing solar can be very exciting, but some people can make costly mistakes. What are the type of things they should be avoiding?
Well, the most mistake people do is buying the cheapest system that they can find with low quality components. So either buying from the advertising they see on TV, or from celebrities spruiking certain products and companies. But even worse than that is buying from someone that comes and knocks on your door. because, all systems are not the same. And like I said, they have to be tailored. They have to really understand the way your energy needs are. And buying that way, it may seem cheap at first, but we're finding that they often have to pay twice because that system is not adequate enough. It wasn't the right design for them. It was a poor installation from a company that's come from a town that we don't know about, who they are. We don't know what they've done, how they've done it, because solar is not just a product. It's a power plant. You're producing power. So, government doesn't design, or company doesn't design a power plant just because it's cheap. It's got to be designed correctly and engineered right for the needs of the community. And that's the same with solar. It's got to be designed right and installed correctly to have that long-term savings and usage and the safety as well. And that's a big factor. Sometimes you hear about solar causing fire, but it's not because of the product, it's because of the way it was installed. So getting the right company to do that is so important. And also that way you've got the right size as well, because you can be advertised a certain product, but is that the right fit for you? Is that the right size system for you? Is it going to produce enough energy when you need it? Or it may be even too large for your needs. So you really got to look at the information or have the right information. And that's why at DNR Air Conditioning Electrical, like I said, we've served in the community for 16 years now, and we ensure that every installation is done right the first time, and using the high quality installation components, because we're going on people's roofs, in their ceilings, in their homes. That's their castle, it's their place. So we need to treat it that way, and we treat each installation as if it's our own, or we're installing for our grandparents, making sure everything is right before we leave. And that way we can give those warranties. Sometimes things don't go right 100% of the time. Well, we make sure it gets rectified, and we're there. We don't just leave the customer because we've got their payment and see you later. No, we make sure everything is done correctly, and we look after our community.
Well, that's the secret of any company's success, is a company who takes accountability and responsibility for their work.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we take pride in what we do. And to do that is, you've got to really understand your consumer, understand your customer, understand your products, and make sure they fit right together. And that's why we have that pride and try to help as best we can with our customers.
So we've covered the people who are installing for the first time. How about people who already have existing solar systems?
Well, look, some people got into the install their systems probably 10, 12. We've had some systems that have been there for probably 15 years. So what they might be missing out on is the new efficient technology, because technology has changed very rapidly. Within 2 years, we almost have another step in our technology, and that's no different to solar. It's actually grown faster than that. So something that may have worked for them 5 to 10 years ago is no longer adequate enough. It may be too small. Energy uses have gone up in the home. They can now upgrade, and what most people don't realise is the government incentives still apply if you upgrade your system. So they don't miss out on that. It's not a one-time incentive. They can still claim their STCs, their small-scale certificates, which offset the cost of that. The other benefit is the older panels didn't cope with shading or the direction of the sunlight as much, where the newer designs do that. They have what they call a bypass diode. There's 3 bypass diodes within the panel. So if part of the panel gets shaded, it bypasses, as the name suggests, so it doesn't affect the rest of the panel or the rest of the panels within that system. So it's a great advantage. And also, when we started out, I think the panel sizes were about 150 watts. Now we're going for residential between 450 to 480 watts a panel, and anywhere up to about 600 watts on a commercial panel. So you have less footprint on your roof, producing more power. So it's a great benefit for those that may have an older system, maybe breaking down. Also, you can't find the parts anymore to those old systems that were out there. And of course, adding batteries now is a big benefit too.
You mentioned batteries. The question is it really worth it? I mean, battery storage, from what I'm hearing from our conversation here, battery storage does help maximize solar benefits, but really, is it worth the investment?
Definitely, batteries let you store the excess solar, especially for those families that may not be at home during the day, and like we mentioned earlier, they use their power early in the morning or later in the evening. That can really take benefit of their solar system, so it stores their energy for when they need it, and it's useful also if you're in areas where there's blackouts, and we're getting more and more of those, or we have a storm. We had a storm here not long ago, and some areas in Morisset lost power for 2, 3, 4 days. But our customers that had batteries, well, they kept on going. They didn't even realise sometimes there was a blackout. And the other incentive is that there's government in New South Wales residents. The government offers a battery rebate of between $1,600 to $2,500 contributing towards the battery, and that started back in November 2024. So making storage even more affordable for those customers. And they can also earn an extra $250 to $400 by connecting to a virtual power plant. What that means is the excess power, if the system needs it, they can grab it from your battery as well, which helps stabilise the system. And here at DNA Air Conditioning Electrical, we help customers navigate these rebates, choosing the best battery system for their needs as well. There's a lot of different battery brands out there, and you don't want to compromise when you're buying a battery. You don't want to be too small, and you also want to make sure that you get the full benefit of that battery. So having a backup gateway. So a lot of batteries are just sold without that, but every system we put in, you make sure that you do have that backup. And not only that, we have what we call a black start. So what that means is, if your power goes out, your battery takes over. But if that battery is depleted, that's it, your power is dead. But with the systems we use, when the sun comes back up, it recharges your battery. So you can have that ongoing system. And we've also teamed up with Amber Electrical. They're a energy wholesaler. So you can buy power at the same price as the retailers do, like Energy Australia, AGL, Origin. So we can help you with setting that up as well, especially with those that have batteries. It's such a big saving for them. And we help those customers, again, make sure they got the right plan and the right system for themselves.
So we know that not all solar providers are the same. Well, what should people look for?
Well, just like with anything, any product they want to buy, look for a company, a reputable company. And with solar, we have got a Clean Energy Council. So all installers have to be accredited by them. So they need to check also customer reviews. You've got to be careful with the reviews as well. We're going to make sure that they are right reviews, and make sure the quality of the products they're using. And with DNR, look, we're here in Morisset, so you can even pop in and see us. We've got a physical office with the products there. You can talk to us. We're real people. We're not, a call centre somewhere, maybe not even in Australia, trying to make a sale. So we have that ongoing support. So for the last 16 years, we've had that reputation. Reliable air conditioning, electrical, solar installations, and that ongoing support. So make sure our customers get the most from their investment. So really just do your research and not be taken up by the marketing jargon that's out there.
And so, Sam, what is the number that people could call or website they can visit to get in touch?
It's dnraircon.com is the website, and from there you can get all our contact details, and that's the best way to contact us, or to just come down to 30 Gateway Boulevard, Morisset, and you can talk to any of us there, whatever your needs are, and go from there.
I will include all that in the show notes, and we have covered a lot today. So for someone still on the fence about going solar, what would you say to them?
Well, I'd say start by doing your research. And solar isn't just about savings, it's about taking control of your energy future and viewing it as a power plant. It's not just a product, an appliance you're buying. It's a power plant to secure your energy future for you and your family. And here at DNR Air Conditioning and Electrical, we offer consultations to help people understand their options and make informed decisions. Even if you're not ready now or today, knowing your options puts a better position for your future. So contact us, come and talk to us, ask the questions. It's every question is valid, and we'll help you navigate the marketing terms that's out there and make sure that you're buying and you have the confidence that you're going to get that support for your right air conditioning, electrical or solar needs.
And of course, this technology is going to be used for families, for their children, for their loved ones, but also an investment, not just a short-term investment, but one that is a very important part of their life.
Yeah, certainly, and it is an important part of our life. We use energy every day, in everything we do. From our young ones, we'll have a energy product in their hand from when they were born, to our older ones. We're seeing our older ones, using tablets and computers and all sorts of gadgets these days. So the demand on energy is growing and continuing to grow. So we have to be really wise about our choices on how we're going to adapt to that change. And we're seeing that we're going from fossil fuels to more greener fuels, and solar is certainly one of them. There's a lot of other options out there that's being considered at the moment in the industry, but what has worked and is continuing to work is solar. And every household can have their own power plant in their home, and they can be independent with those with installed batteries, and it's designed correctly. They can be totally off-grid. So we do a lot of off-grid systems in the area as well, in Morisset and the surrounding areas. So if you have an off-grid need, we can help you with that as well. But certainly solar is the future.
Sam, thank you very much. Glad to be part of that future, and I appreciate having the future here talking to me.
Thank you, Leon. It's been a pleasure to really help you and your listeners understand how energy and solar energy works and what they can do to be part of that.
And that's a wrap. And with that, we covered a lot of ground today, from understanding how solar works year-round to the real financial benefits of investing in the right system, and most importantly, the critical differences that expert advice can make, and long-term support. And that's exactly why Sam and the team at DNR Air Conditioning and Electrical are without a doubt the sensible choice. If you're thinking about solar, upgrading your system, or just want honest advice, reach out to Sam and the team at DNR. You'll be supported by real people with real solutions who are genuinely invested in the community. And speaking of supporting each other, next week I'm sitting down with David Martin from SRU Community Hub. David is the inspiring leader behind Sons of the Phoenix, a transformative movement that's creating safe spaces for men facing relationship breakdowns, mental health struggles, loneliness, and more. In a world where too many suffer in silence, Sons of the Phoenix reminds us you are not alone. It's a conversation full of hope, strength, and the power of community, and it's a conversation that could make a real difference for you or someone you care about. If you enjoyed today's episode or have any feedback, I'd love to hear from you. Drop me an email at leon@ecohq.com.au Your feedback helps us grow and ensures we're delivering conversations that matter. And of course, I'd love you to follow, share, and tell your network about engaging conversations. Let's continue building a community of forward-thinking Australians, one meaningful conversation at a time. I'm Leon Goltzman, and until next time, stay engaged, stay connected, and let's keep making a difference together.